Guys, I'm here to show you guys how to make spatchcock chicken. I am making a Parmesan garlic butter spatchcock chicken, and this is just the steps that I take. My chicken has been washed, and now I am just drying it off, patting it dry, and I am now flipping it on its belly to dry every part because it's going to make for nice crispy skin. I am now cutting out the backbone of my chicken, and this is going to help it lay flat and cook really quick. I find this process then easier with kitchen shears. If you have a really sharp knife, feel free to do so, but this for me is super easy with the shears. And now you have the whole back side of the chicken. Make sure you save that and add that to some stock when you make your soup, and it is super good. Now I'm just trying to break the breastbone of the chicken, and it's laying flat, but I feel like it can lay flatter, so I'm going to flip it over and just finish cutting the breastbone with my shears to clean it out a little bit. Alright, so now I'm taking my wings and tucking them behind my chicken just because the tips burn fairly quick when you throw it in the oven. And I'm just still patting it dry because we want the skin extra crispy. But look how pretty and flat that bird is. It's going to cut the cooking time down in half. And now we have our herbs, some sage, some thyme, some parsley, and some rosemary. And I'm just taking them off the stems and getting them ready for a nice chop so we can mix them in our butter. And I'm going to chop this pretty fine just because when we bite into the chicken, we don't want big pieces of rosemary or thyme when we bite into pieces of the chicken. So just make sure that you are doing a nice fine chop when you're chopping up your herbs. All right, and we have about 4 tablespoons, which is like a half a stick of butter, and it has been sitting out, so it is fairly soft, room temperature butter. I added the herbs and some minced garlic, and just giving it a nice stir. Alright, so I'm just going to add just a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper to our butter, just to add a little bit of flavor when we add it to our chicken. Alright, so now we have our chicken, and I am just separating the skin from the meat. So from the thighs down to the legs and up through the breast. I didn't fight with the wing this time just because I have tucked them. I mean, it was still good, don't worry. But yeah, now we're just going to add our herb, garlic butter to the underskin, and make sure you are massaging it down, all the way down from the thighs to the leg, all the way down to the breast. Because my butter is so soft, it kind of was starting to melt a little bit. So if you want your butter to be a little bit more firm, that's fine. But it still worked out just fine for me. And after everything is all massaged in, now it's time to season our chicken. I use some salt and pepper, Cajun seasoning. So if you are using other salted products, just be careful how much salt you're adding to your chicken. Onion powder, garlic powder, and of course I had to use my favorite, my accent. Y'all already knew that though. And just for a little bit of color on it, I also added some paprika on top, which helps it brown and makes it really pretty. Now at this point, I added some more butter on the top. I probably should have added the butter first, then the seasoning. I haven't figured that part out yet, but it is all good because it still tastes really good. And then before I put it in the oven, you will see me add just a little bit more seasoning, a little bit of garlic powder and some paprika, just so the color can be even before we put it in the oven. also note, before I'm touching everything, like I'm like continuously washing my hands, but with the power of editing, you don't see that. But just be mindful, make sure you are washing your hands after you touch the bird. Please wash your hands after every single step. And now we are adding some olive oil on top of our bird before we put it in the oven. That's going to help it brown. And now we have some small potatoes. We're just letting them boil in some salted water. And the power of editing, you can see I am now seeing if they are ready to be out of the water. And now they are done to my liking. I am now putting them on a pan, and I am now going to smash them. And you can make them as thick or as thin as you would like, and use whatever tool. For me, the flattest thing I could find was a glass, so this worked out just fine for me. And as you guys can see, I have leveled up. I got me some pink Himalayan salt, and yes, I'm doing big things now. No, I'm just now sauteing my potatoes and adding my coarse black pepper to the potatoes, and I'm going to add some garlic powder to the potatoes and kind of just move them around, get whatever leftover seasoning on the other side of my potatoes. They kind of break up a little bit, but it's fine because the potatoes are done. It was easy just to go and press them back in and add some olive oil. This is going to help make them nice and crunchy once you put them in the oven. And some minced garlic on top as well is going to add to the flavor and make it so bomb. And our bird isn't done yet, but we got another step to take. So I just took the drippings from the chicken and added some butter and some garlic on fairly low heat, and just mix it all in, and yeah, let it cook. And this is my favorite part right here, the Parmesan cheese. You can get it from the store, but if you can grate it yourself, I highly suggest it because it is so good and really quick, and it wasn't that expensive at all. And just let it melt a little bit, and look at that. I had to slow-mo that thing, like, look, y'all, ridiculous. So after we did that with love, now we're going to add some more cheese to the top, and this is going to add more flavor of like nutty, cheesy, salty. It's so good. Now back in the oven for about 15 minutes, and now our potatoes are out of the oven. This one's giving me a hard time just a little bit, but it's fine. And I'm just going to flip them over and literally do the same thing that I did to the previous side. Do it to this side as well. If you find that they're still a little bit thick for you, you can press them down a little bit more. Yeah, we're just going to go through the same process and the same steps with the salt, pepper, garlic powder, and olive oil, and fresh garlic on top. And you know that the potatoes, we're going to get some cheese as well. Top it with cheese, pop it back in the oven for about 5 more minutes on 425. And yeah, so now we're going to work on our asparagus while that finished cooking. And medium heat, add some olive oil into your pan and make sure you coat all of your asparagus in the olive oil, and add just some seasonings. My favorite seasonings, a little bit of salt, some pepper, lots of garlic powder, and just a little bit of accent just to bring out those flavors. And just saute in that oil. If you would like, you can put a top on to help it cook a little bit faster. Depends how you like your asparagus. I normally do add some minced garlic, but this time I forgot, but it was all good. It was still good. And look at this, y'all. Like, I am so pleased. This is a perfect Sunday meal. It was so quick and easy. And now you can see it on my plate. I'm just adding some more of that sauce over everything. It was so good. And now it's time to make a cocktail. And this is brought to you by Billy Random on Twitter. This is a Will2Cute, and it is 2 shots of Patron, some pineapple juice, and some lemonade. He didn't specify how much pineapple juice or lemonade. I just assume it depends on what kind of day you're having, if you want it super strong or not. And I'm just adding my ice cubes to my shaker. And y'all gonna see why I can't be a bartender. I'm so clumsy. You'll see in a moment. Yes, the top popped off, but it was all good. It was still enough for me to get litty. And my cute little glass given to me by my brother. But this was so good. Like, this Will2Cute is bomb. I couldn't garnish with pineapple, but I did put some inside my glass, and I garnished with a lemon, and it's so bomb. And this is the final plating. It was so good, y'all. Like, I promise you, I wouldn't lie to you. It was so good, and that drink was bomb. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys make this as well and send me pictures. I love it. Thank you.